Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a catch up now. I can finally talk about a lot of stuff. And obviously, as you're probably all aware, I'm about to go to Vegas, which is a big pain in the ass in a number of ways and also super exciting in other ways. I'm really looking forward to just being back and getting on with work. And just being able to settle into some sort of steady rhythm. I've been playing catch up for so long now that it's just been shitty because it's been shitty. So I've had the situation which was in getting ready for PreachCon and the race to world first. I'm a little distracted right now. I'll explain why in a minute. Is that I was doing a lot to get ready for that, and then went away, and then had to come back and chase again, and then this came up, and I'm doing this again. And in doing so, needed more time to get stuff done. So my family has been away for like 2 weeks. Like they came back for one day and they've been away. So I really missed them more than I thought I would actually. And then they're coming back tonight. They're coming back in like 3 hours. And then we're flying out in about 8 hours. But I will have the kids with me in Vegas. And that's what's going on. I just had to cancel Drama Time and recording this just after because I had yet another episode with my eye. Now, I know a lot of you are concerned about that. As am I. I have been to a doctor. It's an eye strain. But I also did something that I always do before these events. It typically isn't a problem. But I kind of made it worse on myself this time around. This is why I get all the crap out the way before we get to the fun stuff. Is that I also cut out sugar and caffeine like 2 days before I go to these events. And that's for a number of reasons. There is a good reason I do that. Is that I really need to, with the schedule I'm going to have when I'm in Las Vegas, which is one, I'm going to be on US time, so my entire body clock's going to be fucked anyway. But I'm also going to be at the mercy of like, you need to be here, and that could be at like 3 a.m., 8 a.m., 12 p.m., 5 p.m., and then it changes and swaps dramatically. It's actually kind of a weird period of time where you're just constantly getting updates on your phone that you need to be somewhere. So for example, yesterday, I got a call. I arrive in Vegas Saturday evening. I think that's when I get in Vegas. I leave tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. I mean, that doesn't work. I'm not sure. Emma told me it's like Saturday afternoon that we get there, but that doesn't seem right to me. Because they're like 8 hours behind or in front, something like that. But I then got a call saying I needed to be in the lobby of the hotel at 8:30 a.m. and then I can sleep after that. So I'm pretty sure I arrive at some weird time where that's going to suck. And I immediately need to get off the plane, go and get showered up, go and get cleaned up. So you can imagine after such a long flight, you'd like to chill out and stuff. But the work starts. That's why you're there. The work starts. So I'm being interviewed by somebody, which is what this is like. Like the reality of stuff like this is a little different than probably what you imagine. Is that there are people who, when they find out about these events, there's a lot of people, sponsors and whatever, and the crew themselves preparing content for the show that need you. And they're like, we need you before the show even starts to start getting things ready. Okay, so and it's like, okay, so we need to put Mike in to get, because I need to be there for an hour to be interviewed, and I have to wear certain clothes. As I told you guys about, I've actually had the clothes arrive today. I had to order them online because they was like, you need to wear very specific things for this interview. So like a plain black tee and like certain jeans and things like that. So I didn't have any. I don't wear plain black tees. I don't have any of those clothes. So I had to like order them and get them in. And then it's like, okay, you need to be in the lobby at 8:30 a.m. and then you can sleep after that. And then we need you back at 5 p.m. to do blah, blah, blah. And then we need you back at like 8 p.m. because you need you to run through this VT, which is a videotape or something they're going to play during the show in order to get approval. And then we need to do this, this, and this. So that's going to be like the next 10 days, pretty much, is just constantly getting updates of what's happening, changing schedules. And of course, people getting sick, people getting really sick. So that means that I need to be able to 100% guarantee that when I do have some free time to sleep, that I am exhausted at that point. Right? And I found this to be really useful for me. Like, certainly when I was doing the Red Bull one and doing the one in Germany, it's super helpful because sometimes you're going to be going to bed at like 9 a.m. Sometimes that same day you might end up going to bed at like 8 p.m. and then you might need to get up at 4 a.m. So you're constantly shifting and cycling around. What you can't have in your system is any stimulants. I found this to be so useful, is to not have any stimulants. Now at home, it's not that much of a problem, and usually I'm working much longer hours at my discretion, right? So I might do 16 hours working here, But I know that after that, I've got X amount of time to rest and chill, so I can have like a monster and I can do stuff like that. I can, eat pretty much whatever I want, and I know when my schedule's going to be. But when you're constantly changing your schedule, like you can't have that period of uncertainty about when it's going to start and stop because it's going to change on a day-to-day basis. So with that respect, a couple of days before I go to these events, I just stop having sugar. I stop having any caffeine whatsoever, and just switch into. I only drink two things, which is like Monster pretty much and water. That's it. I just have loads of water. I usually have like one Monster a day. But for somebody who doesn't have caffeine a lot, like that's a lot. Like people find it really surprising, but having like a Monster like keeps me going all day and into the night as well. And so that's why I kind of like sip them through the day, like if you're watching the stream. So I cut them out, which does mean though, over the last few days where I've been trying to work as much as possible before I went away again and prepare content to come out, is I've definitely had like 2 or 3 monsters a day. I know, believe me. Which I didn't realize how much caffeine I'd built up like on my system. So at 3 o'clock, I was doing stuff in the house getting ready, and at 3 o'clock, I got the biggest migraine ever. I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was literally like on the floor, like holding my head, like, what? And it just grabbed like a paracetamol and was like, what the fuck, man? This came out of nowhere. And I was basically caffeine and sugar crashing hardcore, which then set off my eye. It wasn't because of eye strain like it has been the last few times. It was purely because I just fucked myself up massively. And I'm laughing because at the time I all dawned on me at once. It was like, oh my God, like what the fuck did I do? What a dick. What a fucking moron. So I was like, I've got drama in like 20 minutes and I need to like get my head up. So I got up and I went outside and tried to get some air, and I started like getting this flop sweat. And I was like, I'm going to throw up. I literally was like about to throw up. So I went to the bathroom. I was like trying to breathe and stuff like that. And it was really quite dramatic for something I knew was going to pass. Like, it wasn't scary. It wasn't like calling an ambulance or anything. I was like, I know this is going to pass. It's just a fucking giant headache out of nowhere. And I came back in and I was like, there's no way I'm doing drama in this condition because I feel like absolute shit. And I'm like okay now. I'm still warm. But I was like, I'll try and pack my case. I'll try and like focus on things to distract me from the fucking thing. But it was agony. I was like, oh, and then it triggered my eye. And I was like, motherfucker. Like I could feel that coming. Like while my head was pounding, I feel my eye going. I was like, oh, idiots. Idiot! Why did you do this? Idiot! 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 So I just like lay on the couch like this. I literally had my hand on my eyes like this. And then about 40 minutes later, it was like gone. I was like, whew, that's better. That's better. But this only happens once. I have had this like caffeine withdrawal thing before, and it happens once really, and you just feel kind of shitty for about half a day or something like that. So that's the worst of it gone. Ugh, horrible, 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 horrible. Anyway, let's get on to some other good stuff. So there's some things I want to film for you. Now Emma's coming. This is a really good thing for me, is that I can film some stuff, and I want to do like a Patreon update. I'll get Emma to do it essentially. Get Emma to do a Patreon update every couple of days while we're in Vegas. So you guys are getting all this behind the scenes stuff, which is what I always get asked about, is like the behind the scenes stuff. And I do like telling the story of the events. But Emma is much more like taking pictures and doing all that, where I'm generally work focused. It's a fault almost, considering the nature of my job. It's kind of a fault. And I'm sure like a lot of them, like the mods and stuff, and, and the guys that go to PreachCon are part of this, are like, yeah, I never take pictures. I just get on with what I'm doing. I like to focus on what I'm doing at the time, whether that's meeting people or working and stuff like that. Like the side stuff is like, let's get a selfie, let's do this and this. I don't really do that. My phone hasn't had pictures on it for ages. Like I have a phone. I never focus on it. It's one thing Andy was really good at. It's like, right, we need a picture of this. We need to film this. And that's why I wanted to bring someone with me. But now Emma's coming. So she's going to be doing that, so she can do like an update for you guys as everything's developing while we're over there. And hopefully they're going to translate that into like a video while we're over there. I'm going to take my laptop, my trusty MSI laptop. It's all ready to go, although it's super heavy. I'm going to have to pay to get it on the plane. It's super heavy, but that's okay. So we can get something done while we're out there and get it done. And then I can get some stuff filmed, because there's a couple of people who are going to be there that I want to be in the Legacy video, and get them done for it there. So that's happening. I can't tell you, though, now we're on the good stuff, I can't tell you how excited I am to get the boys over there. I don't know what they'll make of it because it's an adult fun place, right? Las Vegas is an adult fun place, and I've been looking through all the things for the kids to do. But God, what an experience for them! Like, I'm so happy that they're getting to come, and I'm so thankful that Method was like, "Okay, do you want to bring your family?" And I was like, "Yes, yes, please, yes, please," because I've been such a moody git on my own. Me and Ben, me and Ben, who have been this like lonesome couple. I've got to say, I don't think I could live on my own. I don't think I could do it. If I lived on my own, I don't think I'd do much of anything. I'd like go to the gym. I'd probably order my food online, and I'd just live in a cave and just get on with everything because it'd just be me and my dog. That'd be it. It'd just be me and my dog. It's been a weird experience being like on my own for almost 2 weeks. Like I said, they did come back for one day or one night, and then they were off again. But it's like my office is super tidy, and all the rooms are just. I could live in a 1-bedroom apartment, no problem at all. Like, none of the rooms are touched. Like, the living room is just completely untouched. The other rooms are just completely untouched. I go to, like, bedroom, bathroom, in here. And that's it. That's, like, my loop. That's, like, my loop, just going backwards in there. I'm not sure how the guys do it who live on their own. I guess it's just because I'm so used to having the family there. And, like, Emma forces me to be out there in the world. She's like, we're doing this and this at the weekend. I'm like, all right. But I like that. Right? Because it means I don't have to think about that stuff, like going outside and doing all this kind of stuff. And then when it's gone, fuck me, do I notice. I totally miss it. I'm like, oh God, I've been in the house for like 5 days. And all I've done is gone to the gym and back. That's it. That's literally all I've done. Is go to the gym and back. And I've just eaten chicken and porridge. That's it. That's been my diet. It's been chicken and porridge. Sometimes the chicken's in a wrap. Sometimes it's not. That's about it. That's about it. I had some eggs. That was big. I had some eggs that was going on. That was pretty fucking cool. But at the same time, it's been more noticeable to me this time because really it's been a long time because I was in Germany and then this 2 weeks. Like, it's been a long time that I've been away from my family. And it's been pretty shitty. On the WoW side of things, though, fucking awesome. Awesome. I'm really glad that this tier is kind of coming to an end for my guild. We've just got a Shara to kill. They're very, very close to doing it. It'll be done probably Sunday when I'm not here, unfortunately. And the tier kind of winding down. All this pearl farming and stuff has changed, which is going to be cool. I'm looking forward to that to free us up for Classic because more and more people are excited about Classics. I'm sure you are. The Classic thing is something I wanted to talk about. I was debated doing it publicly, but I've got to say, those Classic dudes are fucking vicious, right? They are. They're fucking vicious, man. Those guys are. They have frenzied themselves, is the way I look at it. Like, they've really got themselves into a fucking frenzy over not a lot. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, it's like the anti-streamer movement, which I think the streamers have been really good. Like, they understand that some people don't want to play on servers where there's going to be, like, large events and stuff like that. Which, first of all, why? Why wouldn't you want to be on a server where there's going to be massive events going on? Like, it might interfere with your leveling for half an hour. I mean, if you took part in any of those events in the Classic Beta, which I did, they don't last that long. And usually they're really fun. And that's something that happened in Classic as well. Like, that's... a lot of stories I tell about Classic, like the things that motivated me so much was seeing these events happen. These big wars with these big guilds doing stuff. But now they're seeing it as like a really resentful thing, which is very strange. I do understand that crashing the server and stuff is a bad thing. I'm not stupid. But that's rare. It's really rare. And they're not going to be doing that every single day. They're just starting big PvP wars somewhere, which is something that happened in Classic. But now we're seeing like we're seeing it develop into like they kind of want their own server on their own. Right? It's what I'm getting out of this. Like, a lot of it is fucking absolutely frenzy, and they are actively vicious about it. And I think the streamers have been pretty good, like the big streamers, and I'm not anybody who's going to start trashing a server. I don't think it applies to me pretty much. But all the streamers who might have people who want to play with them, like myself, have all made it super fucking clear where we are. And we've all gone to the same server. So that's where we are. Of all the server choices, like, that's where we are. So if it's a problem for you, don't go there. And the US has done the same thing. Like Zach and Co., they're all on one server. They've made it abundantly clear where they're going to be so you can avoid them. And then I was reading today, someone sent me this, was like, do you see how bad this has gotten? And it was about a server that none of the streamers are on at all, is having some problems with guilds farming and doing what other people consider shitty things. And all the blame was on streamers. It was so weird because it was nothing to do with streamers. I was like, fucking every server is infested with streamer cunts and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, you guys are like, you're losing it a little bit, man. You're losing it because you've got yourselves all worked up about this stuff and it's not a big deal. Like, I think the LFG add-on, the thing that's flying around about looking for group add-ons is a way bigger deal than the 1 or 2 streamer servers that have got the big names on them. And also, you need to bear in mind, on the other servers, there are going to be people who start streaming and get popular. That's going to happen. But for the most part, the guys want to play with each other. Like, that's why we've got Nobble on our server and we've got Bay on our server, is because we all want to play together. We're just having fun, right? We happen to stream and stuff like that. But I know none of our guys are looking to do anything. But it's definitely been something that's been off-putting, is dealing with the Classic guys, which I don't want because we're supposed to be enjoying this period of time. In regards to Classic, I know a lot of people are like, what's your honest take on this? I mean, for a lot of people, this is going to be a big novelty, and then it's going to wear off real quick. That's going to happen. For a lot of people. How many people that'll be? I don't know. But there'll also be, on the other, that's like one extreme. There'll be people who play it and like, oh, this is really fun, launch event, blah, 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 and then they just die off. Then there'll be the people who play to 60 and they do some raiding, and then they're like, okay, I'm done. Because Classic's not going to be about raiding. At least for a lot of people. The raids are just going to be like some source of some items, and that's about it. But then there are going to be, on the other extreme, there are going to be people who play this till the end of time. If Blizzard left it up, they just play the Classic server for the rest of the time. So there's not everybody in between. I do worry about the longevity of this. I'm seeing a worldwide hype right now, and I'm on that hype train as well. I think it's going to be super fun. I'm sad I can't be a part of it, but I'm also not realistic in thinking that I'm going to be there, like, on Classic all the time. Like, there's no fucking way. There's no way. There's nothing for me to do once I get the raiding and stuff done, other than take part in, because PvP is going to be a huge part of Classic. Easily the most active portion of Classic is probably going to be PvP, in my opinion. And Classic PvP is fun, but it's not that fun. And then retail will have stuff. So I'm that guy who's going to bounce between, right? When the new content comes out for Classic, we'll probably go and check that out, and then new content and retail. So I've basically got 2 WoWs that I'll bounce between without having to, like, rip out my heart. I guess this is what it is. I'm not going to rip out my heart and place it in one box or the other. I think that's mad. For me, personally, I think that's crazy. I think when the new raids and stuff come out in Classic, we'll jump back to Classic and we'll do that stuff, and then we'll come back to retail where they're doing their thing and doing a mixing between the two. That seems like the ideal to me. Who knows? I mean, for all I know, we'll start leveling and it won't be that fun this time around. But I can't imagine that being the case, especially with all the lads having some fun in some of these old school dungeons. I think that's actually going to be a shitload of fun. I do think it's going to be a shitload of fun. I think the real reality will set in for a lot of people when they're like actively grinding and they're like, what am I grinding for? And that's where it's really going to settle in, especially when it gets to those later levels. Like when 45 plus kicks in, I don't consider the real Classic grind to start until 45 plus, even maybe 50 plus, because like I like Ungoro Crater. And I always picked up some nice quick levels there. But when you get to like Silithus and Winter Spring and stuff, Jesus fucking Christ, that game gets slow. You're like, but I think it'll be fine. If you can carry those last few levels, you'll be okay. And everything up to there is such a big adventure, so it doesn't really matter. And Kungan's coming back, which is going to be huge. Big Kungster's coming back, which is going to be awesome. So on the one hand, I'm really sad I'm not going to be a part of the actual initial rush, but at the same time, it might work out better for me, especially if these servers are absolutely trashed, is that I'll come back and they're like, okay, we've moved server, based on everything I just said about streamer servers. But if the servers are trashed, the guys will come back and go, okay, we're on this server now. Fine, whatever. I understand. If we couldn't log in, we couldn't log in. I don't care if I don't get my name. We'll live. We'll survive. We'll move on with our lives, won't we? We'll do those things. In terms of extra stuff for Patreon, so when we get back... Oh. Fucking Zoe. Unbelievable. Group chat. Mod group chat is the worst. They're always spamming. We are going to be adding back in the baited series. We're going to be visiting you guys. Yes, sir. We're going to be visiting you guys. We're going to be doing that. So a lot of obviously we'll start with the UK first, but we're going to be visiting some of you guys in the Patreon. So look forward to getting contact from Emma as to who is up for that. And the idea is we'll come down, we'll like spend a day together. and do something that you do outside of WoW, right? That's where the idea came from. Is a lot of nearly everybody I meet who comes from you guys also does something really cool outside of WoW. Like WoW's the hobby, but they also do something else. Is to take part in that other bit for a day and have fun and meet each other and get to know each other better, and then we'll expand it as we go forward. I did want to do after this, like, it's not something I've just decided on, although it's really hot in here. It's not something I've just decided on, but I kind of like getting, I don't know, need to change some health style things, some lifestyle things. This headache business and all this, it can't continue. It sucks. And it's bad for the kids as well. They don't want to be around a daddy who's got like a fucking eye hanging out and all that. So we might do something along those lines as well as the usual stuff, just to get things back in check. Those are the two extra things I think are going to come. Definitely one of them. Well, I'll see whether the other one is, because I don't want it to turn into some sort of fucking like health blog. We're working out in the gym. That sounds fucking lame to me. But maybe we'll have some fun with it. Maybe go over the problems, because I've watched a lot of lifestyle stuff about people getting, you know, trying to change their lifestyle a bit, but they never really talk about the real problems they ran into. I don't think I've ever heard anybody really talk about the sugar crashes and the fucking caffeine crashes and all that kind of stuff. Like, the real reality of it is it's fucking painful, like physically painful. It really sucks. And you need to be ready for that in some way. Because, like I say, it lasts about 40 minutes, but the immediate reaction is, if you're having those, is people just going to grab a Monster, they're going to grab a Chocky bar, they're going to grab some crisps, they're going to grab whatever it is to get rid of that. Like, because it sucks. It really does suck. And some people have it worse than others. So going into like the actual problems they have, like, I'm ready for it. That's why I'm not that worried about it happening, because I was expecting it. I just didn't think it'd all line up at once and just crash me through the fucking ceiling like it did today. Maybe look at it from that perspective. And do that again. And also, probably expand a little bit more on why Emma hates me being thin. I've been thin several times. Emma hates it. She hates it so fucking much. Not that she's a feeder or anything, but because I think it's because I've been large more than 60% of my life. I say I've been thin several times, but I bounce my weight quite a lot. When I am thin or slim, she thinks I look unhealthy because it looks like I'm starving to death. Although I'm not. I'm just in normal shape. But for her, she gets like really worried and panicky about it. Maybe getting past that. I don't know. There's some interesting avenues to explore there to see where we go with that stuff. But that's what's going to be happening. All right. So a lot to cover there. I hope that's okay. And I'll be back in 10 days. And hopefully you'll have like every couple of days, you'll have something on here showing what's going on. Because I don't really know what it's going to be like. This is different for me. It's different from the World First races. This is going to be a whole bunch of people. There's going to be like 70 people on this floor that we're dealing with, and a lot of faces I've never met. And if there's anybody you think I really need to talk to, you've seen in those lists, and you'd like, go meet this guy, please let me know, and I'll do my best to get something with them. All right? So, love you all.